Welcome back to Extreme Life Channel 20.
Today we have a very special segment for the audience, including a super special guest.
Today our topic will be over caribou and everything you need to know about them.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy.
So what is a caribou exactly? A caribou is a Rangifer tarandus, and it is a type of cervidae, or cervid, which is a group of mammals in the deer family. Bulls or males stand at average at 4 to 5 feet from the shoulder and around 5 to 7 feet in length. Bulls weigh 350 to 400 pounds on average, and with a record of 700 pounds, and are nearly twice the size of females or cows, which on average get to be 175 to 225 pounds. These animals are found in a wide range, so depending on where they live, they have different looks and adaptations, introducing several subspecies of caribou. Here are a few. You will notice here that one half is called caribou and the other half is called reindeer. This is because within the North American range, people call these animals caribou, and in the Eurasian range, they are referred to as reindeer. However, globally, if the caribou is domesticated, they are called reindeer. Now our field reporter has asked some local cardinals about our caribou friends.
Merry Christmas, boys and girls. Santa Claus here with Mr. Brandon. And Brandon, I was wondering, can you tell me the difference between a caribou and a reindeer?
They're both affiliated with Christmas.
No.
I have no idea what a caribou is. I'm guessing a type of deer or like a bovine type of animal.
Pretty good guess. A reindeer and a caribou are actually the same animal.
Oh,
The
okay.
difference being where they live. And that difference is a caribou lives in North America and a reindeer lives in Asia and Europe. Santa here again. I'm here with
Anthony Taylor.
Anthony Taylor. And Anthony, I got one question for you.
All right.
Where does a reindeer live?
Ooh. Every North Pole. I don't know. God.
The South Pole.
South Pole.
The North Pole. And the North Pole.
Pretty close. Okay. They actually live a little bit further south in of the Arctic Circle in Europe and Asia. And did you know that a caribou and a reindeer are the same animal? Yes, they are. And the difference is a reindeer lives in Asia and Europe, and a caribou lives in North America.
And now we have a group of cervidae for a size comparison, including a moose, an elk, a caribou, and a white-tailed deer. Here are some real-life photos of these animals and what they look like compared to each other. As you can see, the caribou and the elk are similar in size and shape, with the moose towering over them. Let's take a closer look at the caribou and the moose. One interesting fact here when comparing their sizes is that the caribou hoof size is the closest to the moose than any other cervid. Caribou depend on their hooves for tools and protection, and they have 4 large toes. 2 are smaller and are called den claws, with the other 2 being crescent-shaped toes that support most of their weight. In the summertime, the pads under the hooves enlarge and rest on the ground. However, during the wintertime, the hooves grow in length while the padding shrinks back and becomes tough, while hair also grows between the toes, forming tufts to cover the pads and protecting the feet from heat loss. And now to Dane on what they eat.
A caribou's diet is season dependent, which is an adaptation found in many organisms that live in cold environments.
What this means is that caribou alter their diet based on the resources that they have available to them. One of these available resources is lichens. Yes, you heard that right, lichens, the small, crusty, leaf-like conglomerate made up of algae, cyanobacteria, and fungi. The reason that caribou eat lichens is that they are one of the only food sources available in the winter in the extremely cold places in which they inhabit. Lichens are not eaten by many other animals, and the reason for this is simple. They cannot digest them. But caribou have gotten around this by having special bacteria in the rumens of their 4-chambered stomach that are able to break these lichens down. Just as the caribou's diet changes over the year, so do the bacteria housed in their rumen. Caribou do not eat lichens year-round. In the summer, they have a diet that is very high in protein and carbohydrates from the seasonal bloom of the tundra. Here in this diagram, we can see the breakdown of what caribou eat according to the season. This highlights what was previously mentioned in that the main food source caribou depend upon in the winter is lichens. According to the diagram, they make up over 50% of the diet of the caribou during the winter. The majority of the remaining percentage of their diet is comprised of evergreen shrubs.
Now, where do they live? Here is a map on where these animals are found. Caribou are found in the North American range over here, while reindeer are found in the Eurasia range. Caribou herds range from 10 to 100 individuals, which can become even bigger during migration times. Caribou are known for the great distances that they travel for migration, having summer ranges to provide food and nutrients for the calves, and winter ranges to protect them during the harsh, cold environments. Typically, herds travel around 400 miles for large groups and around 120 miles for small groups. However, they make things difficult by not choosing an easy path. Weaving to and fro from a wide area, they add many miles to their travels. Some of the larger herds have been observed to travel 3,000 miles per year.
Caribou have many adaptations that allow them to survive in the cold, such as
The male's antlers. Caribou antlers can be large enough to make up to 10% of their total body weight. All this growth happens in a period of just 120 days. The tissue responsible for this growth is called velvet for its appearance and feel. Pictured here is a male caribou with his newly formed antlers covered in velvet. For this very quick growth to occur, caribou rob minerals like calcium and phosphorus from the other bones in their bodies. This results in the weakening of these bones to the effect that a caribou could very easily break a rib if struck by another bull. This is why caribou finish growing their antlers at least a month before the rut to have time to re-strengthen their bones. Caribou also have a specifically developed part of their antler known as the brow palm that they can use to shovel snow off of lichens. For unknown reasons, this brow palm is almost always located on the caribou's left antler. Another adaptation that allows caribou to survive in the cold is their thick pelage of hair. Caribou have 2 layers of hair to provide insulation from the cold temperatures. The inner layer is a dense undercoat in which there are up to 13,000 hairs per square inch. The denseness of this layer acts as a barrier to water as well. The outer layer is made up of longer guard hairs with a density of up to 5,000 hairs per square inch. These guard hairs are hollow to allow for the trapping of air, which acts as an insulative layer to conserve body heat. In addition to this, the trapped air can serve as a built-in life preserver by increasing the buoyancy of caribou when they are crossing rivers. Finally, to survive the cold, caribou make use of regional heterothermy. Regional heterothermy is the practice of allowing different parts of the body to get colder than others. Some of the body parts that caribou allow this to happen to are their legs, nose, and tail.
Caribou mate once a year during the months of October, November, and give birth during the late spring into midsummer. This timing allows the very small calves to be born when food is plentiful, allowing the mother to produce lots of milk, and the calf can quickly put on weight before the cold winter months. Most females give birth to a single calf weighing about 10 to 15 pounds. The calves are able to stand up and begin running within 2 hours of being born. This is important to avoid predators. Newborn calves are very vulnerable to predators, and one strategy the caribou use to protect the calves is by birthing them within a small window. This strategy essentially overwhelms the predators with many calves at once, giving the predators a limited amount of time where the calves are feeble. A typical caribou group consists of one dominant male that breeds 5 to 15 females. Dominance is acquired from other males through fighting with their large antlers. When caribou calves are born, they go from the warmth of their mother's womb immediately to the cold subarctic environment. Newborn calves immediately have to find a way to keep warm. Older animals use shivering to help keep warm. However, newborn calves use brown adipose tissue to help keep them warm until they can start using their muscles in order to maintain their body heat. Brown adipose tissue is located between the shoulder blades and around the kidneys of the animal to help maintain the blood temperature going to the brain and to the kidneys. It works by using specialized mitochondria that do not maintain a hydrogen ion concentration gradient, making these cells very energy inefficient and therefore producing lots of heat.
Now I'd like to take some time to talk about some special topics that are relevant to caribou. Wolves are the most important predator to caribou. Although the caribou outnumber wolves by hundreds, the wolves are highly efficient in breaking up herds to single out individual animals. Wolverines are capable of taking down sick or wounded adult caribou as well as newborns. Golden eagles are also capable of killing and eating a vulnerable newborn calf. The caribou was an important food source to indigenous peoples of the subarctic. However, it was not used simply as a meat source. Caribou were domesticated to an extent and used to pull sleds for transportation of people and materials. In addition to meat, domesticated caribou were also a source of milk in environments where cattle and other animals were unable to thrive. The hide was an extremely important material for the production of clothing and shelter. The thick fur was extremely resistant to the harsh Arctic cold. The bones and antlers could be used in the production of tools and other useful materials. In the past 2 decades, global populations of caribou and reindeer have been reduced by half, mostly caused by anthropogenic affairs. The increase in average global temperature caused by climate change can cause heat stress on the caribou, lowering their resistance to pathogens. The increased temperature has also resulted in decreased availability of forage material through drought. Human development also has a detrimental effect on caribou life cycles. Research has indicated that caribou are reluctant to cross roads, pipelines, and other man-made structures. And oil fields in the caribou's range further reduces the area available for them to forage. Fences are especially problematic to caribou migration. Depending on the height of the fence, calves may be unable to jump over the fence and risk being abandoned by their mother. Hey boys and girls, Santa here, and I was posed this question the other day. Do reindeer like to party? The answer might actually surprise you. For centuries, it has been documented that reindeer will actively seek out and consume hallucinogenic mushrooms known as fly agaric. These mushrooms cause the reindeer to run around aimlessly, make strange noises, and generally act drunk. It has also been documented that the reindeer herders in Europe and Asia will collect the urine from the reindeer that consume these mushrooms because the urine will also produce a hallucinogenic effect to the farmers. The reason for this is that the mushrooms are actually poisonous to humans, but the urine is safe and produces a similar, if not the same, effect. So to answer the question, yes, reindeer do in fact like to party.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Bye.